Welcome back to Rogers Arena in Vancouver, where the Canucks beat the Washington Capitals tonight, and we're pleased to have with us on After Hours the newest Vancouver Canuck. I reckon that in a week as a member of the Canucks, David Booth has faced more reporters and done more interviews than he did in 5 years in Florida, and we certainly hope this is not the tipping point at which you say, I wish I was back in Florida. How's the week been for you?
It's been fun. It's a change for me. It's night and day difference from Florida to here. I had great memories of Florida, but now this is a new chapter in my career and in my life, and I'm excited for it. I'm ready to go. This is a great team, and I'm proud to be a part of the Canucks.
Florida is a very non-traditional hockey market, and you could do whatever you wanted there and not be singled out, I guess. That's fair to say. What was the moment at which you knew, as a Vancouver Canuck, that you were in a whole different world?
Yeah, I guess the moment I got here with all the media, like you said, I probably spoke to more reporters up here than I did.
There you go.
Than I did in Florida for 5 years. But I guess that's part of the culture up here, and I like that. I like the passion that they have for hockey up here. It's exciting to be a part of. And it's going to be a change, but I'm excited for it.
When you see the difference, and you know that the pressure is going to come every time when the team goes in a little bit of a slump, you know that you just can't get away from it. How do you think you're going to handle that? And have you got any advice from other guys who have made the move? Like you think of your old teammate Horton, or even here Higgins, who went from Florida and were in the Stanley Cup Finals last year.
Yeah, I mean, with this team, you never feel like you're out of it, and even the first 2 games where they were close, the guys in the locker room, you can just tell, have a sense of we're going to come back, and we showed that tonight, 4-4 going to the third, and scored 3 goals, so that was huge. But, the fans are passionate here, and they want to win every game, and when it doesn't go like that, I guess people get a little upset, but we hold ourselves to the highest standard.
Well, and how much do you clamor for the ability or the chance to play in the playoffs? I mean, in Florida, the one thing that you didn't get to experience that, what are you looking forward as you go forward towards that?
Yeah, that's going to be a big step for my career, and I really want to make it there, and I think I'm on the right team to do it. I think, the guy said they think that, it's just as good as team as last year, and that's exciting to see. So, it's still October. There's a lot of hockey left, and anything can happen. But with the guys that we have, I think we got a good chance to make it to April and May.
Got a tweet from Mars Middle is the handle, I think, and he or she asks, with all the Vancouver superstars, how is David going to set himself apart? Perhaps D-bombs during interviews or reveal he's a triplet?
No, well, not a triplet. I do have 2 brothers and a sister, but they look nothing like me, which is lucky for them, I guess. So, no, what? We had good players in Florida, too. And, it's just, here, a little bit more recognition just because it's in a Canadian market. So, I just got to play my game. I can't worry about that. I'll set myself apart by playing physical, getting the body and being good on the forecheck and being good defensively. And
you and Ryan Kessler go way back. You played together as kids on several teams. So let's have you. Well, this is you and Ryan in the World Juniors in 2004. Brought the U.S. its first ever gold medal, or helped bring the U.S. its first ever gold medal in that tournament. You guys were key parts of it. Let's have you then expand on a tweet that you sent out on Thursday, and this is it. Last time I got a haircut with Ryan Kessler, he made me buzz it. This time he wants me to shave my eyebrows. What was that all about?
Well, we were just talking in the salon there that the last time I got a haircut was at World Juniors there, and he gave me $100 to do it, and I was college, so I was like, okay, I'll shave my head, grow back, and obviously it did, as you can tell. So then this time, I was telling the hairstylist that story, and then he was like, all right, I'll give you $100 if you shave your eyebrows, but not anymore, Cass,
Well, that's a good look,
yeah,
though.
that's not a good look. That is.
Don't you have to change your helmet, though, a little bit?
Yeah, it shrunk a lot there, but, it's something I'll never forget, so that was a good memory.
How important is it, though, when you come into a new team that you do have some familiar faces? Has that helped in the adjustment a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. Cass has been great. Higgins, Ballard, these guys that I've played with, Bitts, Sulzer. So a lot of these guys that, I've known before. I've seen Lou in the summer down. I live in this community down there in Florida. So, these guys just, are great, and you can see that. And they've welcomed me like I've been on the team for years now, so it's good.
Here's a graphic question for you from Andy Top Cheds is the handle, whatever that means. But do you have to make an adjustment from playing with the first or pass first guy like Weiss in Florida to a shoot first guy like Kessler in Vancouver? Which raises this point. A lot of people have been saying that you and Kessler both like to shoot first. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think that creates some opportunities. Weiss is a good player there. He sees the ice very well, and Kess does too. But he likes to shoot, and I like to shoot. And I think that's going to create more maybe shots or chances around the net. So we both got to get to the net, and I think we both play a similar style: get in there, shoot, go to the net, and maybe get some rebound goals.
Do you know that Ryan Kessler was cut from a couple of Bantam teams as a kid? Did you know that?
I don't know if I knew that or not. That's a long time ago. So
no, the reason I'm asking you is because I just want to know if your path to university and pro hockey was smoother.
No, I played honey baked growing up. I played with Kess a little bit. Then I wanted to play for the USA program, but I didn't make it for the under 17 there. And CompuWare gave me a chance to play the juniors there. And then the next year, I ended up making USA under 18. Played there for a year. And then I went to Michigan State and battled Kessler there for another little bit, and Bieksa. Bieksa was on Bowling Green, so he would always finish his body checks. I may not remember that. But, it's everyone's got a different path there, and it's kind of cool to see them all come together now in the NHL.
When you talk about finishing checks, concussions have been a big part of the NHL in the last year and a bit. You've dealt with some huge adversity, and tell us a bit about going through the big hits that you've had twice now in your career and how you've had to deal with that and go forward on it.
Yeah, you know what?
We should say that's the one from Richards.
The first
yeah. That was tough.
Cost you 45 games.
Yep. And, that was probably one of the toughest points in my career. But something that, as I look back now, I think I've grown because of that. I think God put me through that for a reason, and I think, maybe hockey was first in my life, and now I have to get back to, putting Christ first. And I think that was a big part of my life changing. And, we can get so caught up in hockey, and as you see throughout this summer that, time on earth comes to an end. So I think I got my perspective straightened out and my career straight. So, I think that's part of the reason I went through that.
And when you handled it the first time and then it happened again, what went through your mind there? And how much of a different focus did you have the next time?
Yeah, the next time it was tough. The first time I was trying to get back because that was the Olympic year, and I really wanted to make that team. And, again, that was probably a big goal of mine and something I was looking forward to. But, that wasn't in the plan for me, and that's all right. The second time through, it was all right because we only had like 8 games left. Right. I got hit, and I was like, I can take all summer, recover, and that's what I did. And then came back and I played all 82 games last year, which was
that must
my
have been
goal.
a great feeling. To
yeah,
get
it was.
And you scored 23, right?
Yeah. So just to play, and that was my main goal: play 82 and to continue to develop here and to continue to get back to where I need to be.
Well, like it or not, that hit from Richards, and I guess the subsequent one from Spacek wasn't nearly as bad, but it finished your season. But the one from Richards in particular made you, I guess, the early poster boy for blindside hits. And we have a tweet here from Windy City Law, and I'm struggling to find it, but it was a very relevant question, and I can't find it now. Anyway, I think what he wanted to know was, what do you think of the job that Brendan Shanahan has done to this point in trying to crack down on hit shots?
I think he's done a great job. I think, sometimes we just push it off to the side and suspend certain guys, but he's been fair with all the suspensions, and I think guys are starting to recognize that now, change the game. If guys were honest players, there wouldn't be so many headshots. So, hockey's a competitive game, and sometimes it's hard. You're going so fast out there, and things happen in a split of a second. So that's tough, but you got to realize when you're going after a guy's head or when his back's to you. So those are the things that I think we can prevent. I think Brendan's doing a good job.
And do you really find that, with the suspensions that are happening now, or even with the injury you've had, that the guys are slowly starting to change their mind? Just like after the lockout with hooking, guys stop doing it. Do you see it all on the ice, or do you think a little bit differently on the ice about how you hit or what you do out there?
Well, I think if you play the game fair, you know, you're going to finish your hits on the forecheck, and when the guy has the puck, try to get the puck off of him. You know, there's always those big hits when guys are cutting across the ice, and that's still got to be part of the game, because then you get all these guys that can cut around and never
Too
be.
skilled,
Yeah, these guys are so skilled now, and if you just let them just dance around out there, it's going to cost you a goal or two for the team. So there's the big hits that you know, will happen, but it's, again, body checks, not head hits. So I think that's where we got to be.
We showed the Richards hit. We're not showing the spot check hit because we have a one knockout limit for all our guests on After Hours.
Okay.
Enough of concussions.
Yeah.
Let's talk about happier times for you before we go to commercial, specifically your 4 years at Michigan State. When you went to the Spartans, how much were you told about the guys who came before you?
Yeah, well, talked a lot about Craig here. You know, they really pumped his tires, so that's why I decided to go there.
Well, how could you not? Because the guy sitting beside you, I mean, your numbers at Michigan State were respectable. You're going at a point-a-game pace for a couple of seasons. But this guy, and there he is, Craig Simpson, back in 1982, looking like he was getting ready for Battle of the Blades. But did you know in 82-83, he had 57 points in 46 games. The next year, 84 points in 42, and he was the NHL's second overall draft pick. How could you not have known about Simmer?
Oh, give that a round of applause right
No, but
there.
you had.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah, I definitely knew about his pictures all over the locker room, still there. So, I mean, there's so many great players to come through the organization.
It's a good program.
Yeah,
a lot
it
of
is.
good players, and good to see my former line mate Tom Anastas now as the head coach, and good to see Kelly Miller as well. So two of my former teammates are now in charge of getting the school back on track.
Well, it's the Miller factory.
Yeah.
Kelly, Kevin, Kip, Ryan, right?
You probably never played with one though, did you? Or was Ryan there?
I played with Drew, who's
Oh,
in
okay,
Detroit.
yeah,
He
yeah.
was number
Forgot about him.
27. Yeah,
I played
Drew.
with two. There was
Yeah.
Kevin and Kelly there for sure. So.
All right, we're talking about vintage pictures. Here's one from 17 years ago, and I think this was the brick tournament in Edmonton.
There it is,
Now,
yeah.
look at that guy in the back. He's got a light-colored sweater on, and it's Craig Simpson, right?
You
I
can't
think
get
so,
away with
yeah,
this,
I
right?
think so. Look at that.
And where are you?
I
Honey
can't
baked
tell.
right?
I see Corey Potter there.
Yeah.
My buddy Louis Schmidt, I can tell. I think I'm just right below Craig Simpson there, right on the
With
left.
the big mouth yelling? Or
I think
oh,
just
no,
the
you're
one
pointing
going,
up.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, point number one.
Well, I'll tell you, this was at the brick tournament at West Edmonton Mall in Edmonton, and I remember a number of years we handed out trophies. You guys had a heck of a team for the Honey Baked always came in, and what do you say about the minor hockey in your area? I know, you know, Little Caesars, CompuWare, and the great development of players from there.
Yeah, I think Detroit's got a great, great youth program coming up, and you know, guys are excited around there, and the USA program's based out of there. But you know, growing up, we go to Toronto so much. The Canadians are, you know, so well, and they're so good. So we would always go to Toronto almost every weekend to play and compete. I mean, I grew up playing against Rick Nash and all those guys, and it's just funny how it all comes together. And you know, so I think I owe a lot of it, you know, to the players in Canada for developing us right there across the border in Detroit.
Yeah, they made you better, certainly.
Yeah.
All right, David Booth is our guest in After Hours. Did you know that he mediated one of the most famous scraps in the history of hockey? And we'll talk about that when we come back to Rogers Arena. Back with you at Rogers Arena in Vancouver as we continue with After Hours and our guest, David Booth, now 3 games into his career as a Vancouver Canuck. Here's a breaking tweet we got from Sean Kimber. Has he been to the Roxy yet?
Well, you know, it's tradition.
Hey, you've been here for a week. Surely you've heard of it.
No, well, I've heard of it, yeah. It's tradition in the NHL to have rookie parties, and my rookie party was in Vancouver, so I made a brief 15-minute stop there back in 06.
I was going to say, how many times you've actually played here even?
Yeah.
Probably.
Oh, this is my second time.
Yeah,
it's
that's
funny.
right.
Yeah, I grew up in Detroit, and that is still the only arena I have not played in as a pro. So.
We touched on this briefly in our first segment, but I want to go back to hockey life in a place like Florida. Wendell Clark once said to me when he played most of one season with Tampa that there you only had to work 1 hour a day. In other words, show up for practice, work hard, go home. The rest of the day was yours. And, of course, 3 hours of work on game days. You could do what you wanted with the rest of your time and not be under the microscope. Is that how it felt for you in Florida?
Yeah, I mean, you know, there it's different than here. you know, it's just something that, you know, it's a great place to play. You know, I think you're treated well down there. You know, you go to the rink, you work hard, but when you leave the rink, it's 75, 80 degrees in January and February, so you feel like you're on vacation. You know, you can sit outside and
well, here's a
enjoy
picture
that.
then
Hey, there's a training hard.
See, yeah, it's easy.
Yeah.
Doing jump squats in my pool, so I'm actually training there. So that's
There
yeah,
we go.
right. You know?
Explosive,
Yeah,
explosive
stuff,
jump.
yeah.
Was that a daily occurrence in Florida?
You know, I'd go out by the pool every now and then, but yeah, I'm losing my tan right now. That's right.
Well, I got to now. Where's that question? This is from a guy named Coop, a C and about 9 O's and a P. His name is Ian Cooper. How long until his tan turns to rust?
Well, I just answered that.
Yeah, it looks like
rusty, yeah, but that's all right.
How much discipline, though, as a young player trying to establish yourself in the NHL? I mean, did you have anybody there who helped you through that? An older player just saying, keep the focus, understand what you have to do to be an NHL star?
Yeah, you know, when I started there, I grew up watching, you know, Hockey Night Canada, Gary Roberts, Joe Nieuwendyk, Ed Belfour, and then when I got there my first year, those 3 guys were on my team, and I was kind of like awestruck by them.
Good role models for that, then.
Yeah, yeah, they were. And after Gary left, I chose number 10 because he was number 10, and now number 7 because maybe I don't know if I'm following him around or not. But I love the way he played, and yeah, he taught me a lot about the game. Same with, you know, Ed Belfour and Joe Nieuwendyk. Those guys were great to have.
But here you have switched from 10 to 7 to honor your sister Rachel. What's the story behind that?
Yeah, you know what? My little sister has meant a lot to me. She's a big part of my life, and you know, she's a great hockey player too, and she's being recruited by some colleges. And you know, if she can keep it up, you know, keep discipline, she's a great girl. And
there's an older picture.
Yeah, older picture. See number 7 right there.
There you go.
Yeah. But
she plays for Little Caesars?
She plays for Little Caesars, yeah. And, you know, if she can just keep with it, maybe play in the Olympics one day, you know, that's her goal, and I think that'd be cool to see.
Could she get a scholarship to a U.S. school?
That's her goal, yeah, and I think she's good enough, too. You know, she works hard. She, like I said, disciplined, stays out of trouble, so she's got all the attributes to do that.
Funny, when you change numbers like that, are you a superstitious guy at all, or do you feel like at all when you go somewhere new, if things haven't been going well, you want to change it up, or are you just go out and
No,
play
I don't really have superstitions, you know, and I think that you know, God has everything in a plan, and not what number I'm going to do is going to affect the outcome, right? So, yeah, I think number 7 just it brings me back to my minor days when I was playing, and kind of free me up from just the I guess how hockey can get so business-like sometimes. So I just want to get back to enjoying it like I did when I was a kid.
David, there is on YouTube a Might hockey fight that so far has got over 3 million views. This is well, the makings of a scrap between JJ and Edney, and nothing much came of it. In fact, it ended quickly when I think JJ's mother yelled at him. So tell us how you got to mediate this dispute.
Yeah, well, those guys were in Florida. They're working hard, playing the body. So, yeah, you know, it's kind of funny because I think they're 6 or 7, and I got to, you know, sit down with them, and those kids are full of energy. You know, they are so cute, and so look at these guys.
I really are meeting you. Right?
Yeah. So it's good to sit down with them, and they just they're best friends too, and they're
going, what happened, guys?
Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah, and I don't know. I think it was one of the pretty cool things I got to do in Florida was talk to these kids.
I think it was called the Florida Panthers Root Beer Summit, wasn't it?
That was what it's called, yeah.
And how important is it? I mean, you seem to be very focused on community and on kids and on things. Coming to a new community here, how much are you? I know the Canucks are a great team with doing charitable work. How much will that be a focus as you try to get to know this community?
Yeah, I haven't even been here a week, and we already had you know, a nice event the other night, helping out for kids in the community in the Special Olympics, and it was very cool to see. You know, I got to sit with a kid that does downhill skiing, and it was the kid just had so much energy, and you know, you love seeing that, how these kids just love to be outside just like we do and love to do sports. So you can see that the Canucks have reached the community so well here, and I'm glad I can help out.
And Chris Higgins' sister, by the way, we talked to him about this a moment ago. Jeannie is 29, and she is a Special Olympian, so the night meant a whole lot to him, as it did to you, too, obviously.
Yeah.
You're a serious hunter. You've hunted
Yes.
with your brother and your father, I think, in each of the last 2 off-seasons. In New Zealand last off-season, and this past
Holy
off-season.
cow,
Well,
look
is
at
that
that.
from New Zealand?
That is from New Zealand. That's a red stag. One of the
Wow.
most miserable hunts I've been on. I was freezing cold. It was like 40 degrees and raining, and I was wearing wet sweatpants and just a wet, like long sleeve T-shirt there. I sat there for 3 hours because the thing was laying down, and finally got up and made the shot count. So need to start making the shots count on the ice now.
You had, in the last offseason, I think 10 days in the wilderness in Alaska. Most of us can't imagine being 10 minutes without our cell phones or BlackBerries. So what was that like for you?
It was a great experience. I get to share it with my dad. You know, he's meant a lot to me, and I'm the person I am because of him. So we got to do a grizzly bear hunt up in Alaska, and it's something that I've always wanted to do. You know, it's not about going out there and just killing these animals. It's more about going out there and enjoying God's creation. And then I got to do that. Slept in a tent for 14 days, and something.
Wow.
That, yeah, you know, it's different because you know.
I said 10, so
Yeah, it was all right, you know, but something that I like to do. You know, we're treated so well here, staying at a top-end hotel. So, you know, I guess I appreciate going out there and just roughing it for 14 days and then coming back and enjoying getting back into hockey here.
What about the encounter with the grizzly cub?
Yeah, well, we had a couple. You know, you float down the river there, and these grizzlies are just eating the fish, and we were trying to catch them eating some fish. We saw a couple the first day, and the second day, you know, I'm a bow hunter, and we got 20 yards from one, and that's pretty cool seeing a grizzly bear's face. But you know, I respect hunting, so I didn't want to shoot it because it was just a 5 foot.
Right.
5 foot, so I let it go, and you know, that's all right. I ended up not shooting a grizzly bear, but did get a black bear because there's so many of them out there that they eat all the blueberries, and we don't want that to happen.
Well, as you go ahead here and you look, and you've got 3 games under your belt, you got your first win as a Canuck here. What are you going to be focused on here to get comfortable and get yourself entrenched in this as we go forward?
Yeah, we got a big road trip, 2-week-long road trip. I don't think I've ever had a 2-week road trip. Maybe when we went to Finland one time, but you know what? This is going to be a good experience for me, and I think it's going to get me focused on, you know, just being in hockey here. You know, no distractions. I think this is good, and this will be a stepping stone for my time here in Vancouver.
Here's a tweet from Chris, whose handle is day today today. Ask him about his turkey call. Never mind asking him about it. Just do it for us.
Well, shoot, I wish I would have known. I would have brought my diaphragm.
You got to have a little.
Yeah, you got to have a little
yeah.
diaphragm in there. But, you know, you put a little
Can't you
diaphragm
improvise?
Well, you could just go, and then it would be a turkey call. But, you know.
Well, there's no turkeys attacking us right now, so I guess it didn't work.
Yeah, no.
One here from Guts McTavish, if I can find it. And he wants to know, I'm going to find it. Here it is.
Yep.
Can we expect to see a David Booth pumpkin surface anytime soon? And his hashtag here is nude Kessler pumpkin twit pic. Because there was a pumpkin, I guess, with the picture of Kessler who's modeling
naked
for ESPN magazine. So
yeah, it was funny because at that charity event, we had a comedian there, and he said,
Didn't give him any.
no,
flack.
yeah, he just said, you know, it's amazing what you can do when you put your time and effort into Photoshop. So it was pretty good. Yeah, I like that one. So, you know, you got to give it to Kess a little bit.
And Ryan Kessler is adamant there's no Photoshop.
No, I don't think there was.
that's good.
There wasn't. But
Yeah.
the guy was making a joke.
David, thanks for your time. It's been great to have you on the
Thanks,
program.
guys. This
Appreciate
was
it.
awesome. Yeah. All right.
Thanks, David.
Yeah, thank you.
Hi to
David
your
Booth
family,
embarks
right?
on
Yeah,
a new
family,
chapter in
yeah.
his hockey life as a member of the Vancouver Canucks. Once again, our thanks to him for joining us on After Hours.